dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop.
The Joe Zone.
You walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the superstates that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace. Any state, any entity, any ideology that fails to recognize the worth, the dignity, the rights of man, that state is obsolete.
Please sit down if you have a seat. If you have one.
No chairs.
You don't? Obviously stand. An increasing income. A $15 million, $15,000, $15 minimum wage. I'm dreaming here.
Yeah, you are, because you're in the Joe Zone.
Minimum wage for our essential workers.
Essential workers.
We're going to praise you. We're going to pay you with a good wage. Ensure you have strong benefits. We'll ease the burden of the major cost.
This is the national average for essential workers. Now, of course, this probably does not include doctors and nurses who make a lot more than $15 an hour and already have benefits. So what exactly is Joe talking about when he's talking about workers? So let's do a little math here. Okay, the average wage was $32,474 divided by your average year of work, which is a 40-hour work week, which is 2,080 hours. We divide that, and what is your average wage? $15.61 an hour. So, Joe, people are already making that amount. So, how are you going to help them? You're going to pay them less than they're making now? That doesn't seem fair. Well, here's Joe, who's lowering his mask in order to cough into his hand. Which, I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to do that, Joe. But, that's Joe for you. He's in the Joe Zone. He's in the Joe Zone. The Joe Zone. So when you're in the Joe Zone, maybe you don't know that you're not supposed to do that. But, So let's see. See, he's already got it down. So this clip here is not exactly the way I want it, and I'm borrowing it from another show just because I just did, because I can. So he coughs in his hand. There it is, folks.
We have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate. You're coming back. I'm coming back.
As a senator? I think if I was running for president, I wouldn't forget that.
Why? I'm coming back. I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older, too.
Live from the Jack Dennis Studios, it's the Joe Zone. So, tonight we're going to discuss the polls and how a lot of polls say Biden is ahead of where Obama was and doing better than FDR did after World War II, or during the end of World War II, I should say. So, I went onto YouTube and I did some screen captures of recent things. When it says streamed 5 hours ago, these are yesterday's. These are from yesterday. So 5 hours after he was streamed, he had 1,929 views for a campaign stop in Cincinnati, Ohio. He had 55 likes and 176 dislikes. That seems a little weird, eh? 5 hours and 1,929 views. So let's move on to the next slide here. If I remember how to do it here. Next. Let's see. Next. Here we go. Trump, 4 hours after he had an event, after he was had his coronavirus, mega rally. Within 4 hours, he had 469,680 views with 25,000 likes and 1,200 dislikes. Okay. But Biden's way ahead in the polls, you know. So let's look at the next one here. This one says, this is from October the 10th. Joe Biden, feeling some wobbles in his campaign. I don't know. Anyways, he had on October the 10th, this was taken yesterday, so 3 days later, had 400,148 views. And 8,700 likes and 422 dislikes. Okay? Let's go to the next slide, which will be a Trump rally on the 10th. Okay, here's another public event. This is on the 10th, streamed live. He has 3 days later, he has 1,132,159 views, with 57,000 likes and 2,300 dislikes. Okay? 1 million versus Biden's on the same day. We'll go back just so you remember. Okay, 400,000. Okay, half. Biden had less than half of what Trump had. Okay, let's move on here. So there's that. Okay, next slide. Next slide, please. There we go. Biden, back in March. This is just to show you something here. This is the last two slides for tonight. In March, on March the 2nd, he streamed live. He had 48,000. Since then, this was taken yesterday. Since March the 2nd, he's had 48,785 views when he had a rally in March in Dallas. He had 686 likes and 444 dislikes. This is yesterday, but these numbers are what he's had since March. This one rally. Okay. Donald Trump. Next. 4 hours ago, had 43,090 views in just 4 hours. Okay? Biden had 7 months. Trump did the same thing in 4 hours. You tell me how the polls are not skewed towards Biden. Do you know why they're skewed? I do. Maybe you figured it out now too. The polls are skewed because for the narrative of Biden when he wins, if he wins, if they've got it rigged so bad that he actually can win this thing, they'll say, well, look, it was in the polls the whole time. That's what it's about, I would think. The polls are being skewed so the rig job can happen, and they can get away with it, maybe, and say, yeah, it was in the polls all along. Well, here's the truth, folks. Look at the views. Look at what's really going on right now today. Don't listen to the polls. The polls are wrong. Okay? Dazed and confused. Well, I hope you enjoyed the first episode of the Joe Zone. I had no on-camera appearance tonight. I'm recording live here, and I'll be posting it shortly. It's about an 8-minute and 35-second video, and I'm going to go live while it's uploading on the other computer. And you all have a great night. This has been Jack Death reporting live, but in a recording sense, in the very first episode of the Joe Zone.